Hello, I'm Carol Scarth, and I want to share with you a topic on breaking the bondage of fear. These are times when fear grips the hearts of men, women, and children. We see fear of rejection, fear of not measuring up, of not being perfect, fear of old age, of not being slim or beautiful, not being accepted in the right circles, or not having enough money. There is fear of terrorism, abduction, bombings, and violence. Little children have lost their freedom to be spontaneous with adults for fear of predators, of being kidnapped, sexually molested, or drugged. Real conversation has almost become a thing of the past because of fear. The fear of revealing the deeper things of our hearts and minds to the point that loving others, let alone ourselves, has become almost impossible. If you listen carefully to the words that come out of people's mouths, you will hear, "I was afraid to do this," or "I was afraid to do that." We have become a nation under bondage to fear. Now, natural fear for the body's protection is needed. We have to obey stop signs, stop lights. We have to look for cars before we cross the street because we know that others will not necessarily watch out for us. God did not create us to walk in fear. In fact, in His Word, we read just the opposite. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. That's 1 John 4:18. Several years ago, my husband and I were taking our daughter to a new doctor in Tulsa. We parked our car and entered into the lobby of the medical center to wait for the elevator. After a few moments, the elevator stopped and the door opened. What happened next took my breath away, and I was saying inside of me, "Be still, my heart." Several people were in the elevator, and both my husband and I said almost simultaneously, "We'll wait for the next car." Those on board said, "Come on, there's plenty of room." Looking back on the situation, I have wondered if perhaps their invitation wasn't given in fear. For in the midst of them was a tall, dark, burly man who looked as if he was straight out of the mafia. And all he needed to do to complete the image was to wear a striped suit and carry a violin case. Our daughter, who has no fear of anything, bounced right onto the elevator at their invitation to come on. We had no choice but to follow her. She immediately went up to the man and began to chatter away at him, and I'm sure that he understood very little of what she had to say. As we came to the next floor, she took his hand and kissed it and said, "I love you." With that, the elevator stopped, and to our relief, he stepped off. After taking a step or two, he turned and came back to her and said, "Here." He turned again and left as the elevator door closed. Again, fear gripped our hearts because we had no idea what he had put into her hand. At our stop, we looked and saw that he had given to her a necklace having significant value. Considering his outward appearance, this man too had no doubt been rejected many times by people. But when the innocent love of a child was expressed to him, his heart melted and he reciprocated with a gift that he held in his hand. Certainly, I am not suggesting that we throw caution to the wind or not to use wisdom in all that we do, but God has called us to be an expression of His love to others. His words say, God hath not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and a sound mind. We have to ask the Holy Spirit to show us the right balance. 1 Corinthians 13:13 tells us, and now abides faith, hope, and charity, or love, these three. But the greatest of these is love. Love is superior because, like God, love is eternal. Thank you so much for joining us today. God bless you.